Have you ever built all the systems, set up your tools, and planned out your content calendar only to sit down at your desk and feel totally unmotivated to actually do the work? That was me this week. And honestly, it's frustrating, especially when you're someone who prides yourself on being organized and having everything streamlined. It's like, if my systems are supposed to make life easier, then why am I staring at my laptop feeling stuck? Here's the truth. Systems don't make you a robot. They don't erase your humanity. They don't guarantee you'll be motivated every single day. What they do is create a safety net so that when you have an off week, you're not starting from zero. So today, I want to share how I got through my slump this week, the mindset shifts that helped me, and a few practical ways you can keep moving forward even when motivation is nowhere to be found. And I'd love to hear from you too. What do you do when you feel completely unmotivated? Do you push through or do you step back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Okay, so let's start with the myth that having systems means you'll always be on top of things. If you're new here, I'm Samantha, here to help online coaches, freelancers, and other small service-based entrepreneurs organize and streamline their business operations so they can save time and mental energy and focus on what they love to do. And also, I have this new microphone. I can't figure out what to do with my hands because usually I'm like this, but it's like right in the way and I don't want to bump it. Okay, let's start with the myth that having systems means you'll always be on top of things. Now, I see this a lot, especially among freelancers, BAs, and coaches who follow me. They think if they set up the right task manager, buy the right planner, or organize the perfect calendar, they'll magically stay motivated forever. I used to believe this too. And don't get me wrong, systems are powerful. They do save you time. They do keep things from falling through the cracks. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. But they don't eliminate the human side of business. You're still going to have weeks where life feels heavy, weeks where your brain feels foggy, weeks where motivation just isn't there, especially if you're neurodivergent. And that's totally normal. So, in fact, this week was a reminder for me that the whole point of having systems isn't to prevent dips in motivation, it's to make sure that when dips happen, you'll have something to fall back on. So instead of starting at zero, you've got templates, structures, and processes that already exist. That way, even if you only have 20% of your energy, you can still move forward. Now, let's talk about that sinking feeling of being behind. I felt it big time this week. I looked at my YouTube schedule and thought, well, so much for my systems if I can't even get the script written. But then I realized I wasn't actually behind. I was just in a temporary low energy season. Being behind is often a story we tell ourselves when reality isn't matching our ideal timeline. The truth is, my systems were doing their job. Because I had a process for video creation, I wasn't starting from scratch. I had templates to lean on, I had past scripts to reference, I had structures already in place. That's the beauty of a system. It gives you a buffer. It buys you time. So instead of seeing myself as behind, I reframed it as supported. And that shift took away a lot of the pressure. So here's another thing that helped: lowering the bar. I know that can sound counterintuitive. We're always told to raise our standards, push harder, go for more. But sometimes the smartest move is to shrink the task to something doable. So instead of sitting down and saying, I have to write a 2,000-word script today, I gave myself permission to just write a hook, or record a messy voice note, or jot down 3 bullet points I wanted to say. That was it. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, once I started, I found myself doing more than I planned, because the resistance wasn't about the task, it was about starting. And voila, I came up with this YouTube video. Small momentum melts resistance. So if you're feeling stuck, try lowering the bar. Make the first step ridiculously easy, then celebrate that as a win. Another huge shift for me was realizing I didn't need to reinvent the wheel. I already had so much content written: emails, blogs, client notes, even voice notes I'd sent to my VA. Why not use that? So instead of creating something brand new, I pulled from content I'd already created and expanded it into video scripts. Like this video right now. This entire topic came from me thinking about how unmotivated I was feeling. That's it. That's where the idea came from. And here's the thing, your audience probably hasn't seen that content in this format. And repurposing isn't cheating, it's smart. It lets you get more mileage from your ideas without constantly draining yourself to come up with something new. So if you're in a slump, go back to what you already have. Pull an old blog, expand an email, transcribe a client conversation, or just get real with the thoughts that you are struggling with right now, like this video. Chances are there's gold in there that's worth sharing or sharing again. This one might be the most important: compassion over hustle. I know the temptation is to push harder, to hustle through the resistance, to tell yourself, if I was more disciplined, this wouldn't be happening. But that just piles shame on top of exhaustion. And shame never motivates anyone. Here's the reality. If you're building a business while balancing real life, family, health, energy, it's not fair to expect yourself to perform at 100% every single day. Motivation dips are human. They happen to all of us. And instead of beating yourself up, what if you just gave yourself some grace? What if you said, this is a low energy day? That's okay. I'll do what I can, and that is enough. That shift alone can release a lot of pressure and help you find your rhythm again. And I know that I do attract a lot of ADHDers, neurodivergent people, so this is extremely important for those communities as well. I know because I am likely neurodivergent. My daughter is for sure neurodivergent, which is why I'm learning about myself. But I know that we lose energy very easily, and it's easy to get into that mindset where you need to do more, more, more. Take this as your permission to do less when energy is low. Okay, so let me throw this back to you. What do you do when you feel completely unmotivated? Do you push through? Do you step back? Do you have a go-to ritual that helps? I'd love to hear your strategies in the comments because I know we can all learn from each other here. And by the way, if tools like Asana are sitting there blank right now and that blank page feels like pressure, I want you to know it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need to learn the tool before you start using it. You just need a system that already works, a template, a structure, a setup that you can plug into and make your own. That's exactly what I've created in my digital products. So if your document has been staring back at you with that intimidating empty space, check out the resources linked below. They're designed to take that overwhelm off your shoulders and get you moving again. Okay, before we wrap up, let me give you a few practical things you can do the next time motivation dips. Number one, batch your energy. If you're in a high energy mood, create extra content and stash it away. That way, on low energy days, you're just pulling from your reserves. Number two, create fallback content. This could be short, simple videos or posts that you can record quickly when you don't have the energy for a big project. Think of them as your energy content bank. Number three is keep a repurpose list. Anytime you create something, a client email, a blog post, even a social media caption, drop it into the project or folder where you can revisit it later. That way, when you're stuck, you already have a library of ideas ready to go. And number four, normalize rest. Sometimes the best system isn't another productivity hack. It's giving yourself permission to step away and recharge. So if you're in a slump right now, remember you're not alone. Your systems aren't broken, motivation comes and goes, but the structures you've built are what keeps you from sliding all the way back to zero. And if you can reframe falling behind, lower the bar, repurpose instead of reinvent, and give yourself compassion, you'll find your way forward again. All right, go gentle on yourself this week. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.